Hey, you guys, on today's show, we are going to discuss the bombshell newly released Epstein emails and why they are once again a big womp womp for Democrats. Then we're going to talk about the Turning Point USA fiasco at UC Berkeley and how the DOJ is now getting involved, and this is a good thing. And finally, one of my very favorite Nepo babies has put his hat into the ring to run for Congress. This is going to be epic and amazing. So stick around for all of that today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. So you're talking my name.
Okay, before we get into the meat of the show, I have a bone to pick. Over 3 years ago, I quit drinking, and that's a whole long story. I wasn't like some crazy alcoholic or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, it's, I was like, yeah, I was just done, And so I'd been using or enjoying Delta 9 gummies for quite some time, which are legal low THC gummies, because I can't smoke actual weed because I can't do it. Like, people that wake and bake, I don't know how they function. Like, I'm not one of those people. But a low level of THC, it's like, it gives me a buzz. It's cool. Like, and you don't drink. So it's like win-win, right? Well, guess what? The Republicans thought it'd be a great idea because it went over like a lead balloon in Texas a few months ago. Remember when the lieutenant governor was hell-bent on banning all THC derived products here in Texas, and the Governor Abbott, good Greg Abbott, like actually vetoed the bill, which was like, you color me shocked. Well, in order to reopen the government, there was a poison pill put into this shutdown bill that basically is going to ban all hemp or all THC products, period. And guess who, of course, is behind it is Mitch McConnell. Like, that asshole. I'm not happy about this. Like, if Trump wants to split the MAGA base, like, he should keep talking about 50-year mortgages and, millions of foreign nationals flooding into our universities and banning THC products altogether. That'll split the MAGA base, but dude, I have no words. It's ridiculous, and not happy about this whatsoever. Now, something that Fred and I started watching, probably all of you started watching this week, Pluribus on Apple TV. And Apple TV for me has been mostly hits, although I haven't seen a ton of Apple TV stuff. Like, I never could get into Ted Lasso. I found it hokey. I don't like that kind of humor. Bill Lawrence is the guy that did Scrubs, and I cannot even explain to you how much I hated Scrubs. He also did The Good Place, and it was just like, it's just wasn't for me. So I never got into Ted Lasso. And there's been like Silo, I watched the first season of, and I was mildly interested in it. And like towards the end, it finally started to get interesting. But when the second season came around, I was like, do I really want to like invest all this time? No. The show on Apple TV that I'm obsessed with and continue to be obsessed with and continue to wait with bated breath until it comes back is Severance. Y'all, if you've not seen Severance, you must watch it. It's so, so, so good. Now, the new show, the Vince Gilligan show. Vince Gilligan is, I would say, the anti-Taylor Sheridan. Although, because I'm not a huge fan of Taylor Sheridan shows, I find them very schlocky overall. I thought Landman was like the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. Like, Fred and I gave Landman like 3 tries, and we're like, no, can't do it. Like, it was just the slut daughter, the annoying ex-wife. The dialogue was insipid. It was real bad, like bad. And that's one of those weird ones that I'm like, how does this have like an 8.2 or whatever it is on IMDb? But whatever. So did not like Landman. I didn't like any Taylor Sheridan show except Mayor of Kingstown, which is phenomenal. That being said, Vince Gilligan, rightfully, I would say, is kind of the anti-Taylor Sheridan, because he came out with Breaking Bad, which, of course, everyone just, has paroxysms of joy over. I liked Breaking Bad. I'm like, it's no Sopranos. Like Sopranos for me, like that's the bar. Okay, are you as good as the Sopranos? And I'm like, no. I mean, me personally, no. I liked it. Probably will watch it again with Fred. Whatever. Better Call Saul, same thing. Liked it. Thought it was really good. Like the fifth season, when I started to watch it on Netflix, when it started streaming there, I was like, I wasn't like in love with it enough to get back into it for whatever reason. And I did not think that the main actress was very good. Rhea Shehorn is her name. And everyone seems to think this woman is a great actress. And I'm like, if you like watching Cardboard, sure. But she's the lead in this new show, Pluribus. And I will say, it's got like a 9 on IMDb, which is, I think, a little high. I would give it like a 7.8. Okay. I mean, it's good. It's not Severance good. And Severance and Sopranos, they're pretty close. But I would give it a shot. It's interesting. It's an interesting premise. And I would say so far it's off to a really good start. So all that being said, that's what we're watching. All right. Let's get into the show. All right, so first topic we're going to be discussing is this ridiculous latest email joke that the Democrats think they're going to foist upon us, and it's like, gotcha. No, not gotcha. I get the New York Times Bulletin, as I mentioned, and the Newsweek Bulletin, as I mentioned, and this morning they were like super, super excited. They're like, you guys, we finally got them. And there was this release of these emails from the Jeffrey Epstein estate that the Democrat Oversight Committee put out, which just, basically left out like massive bits of context, and they redacted Virginia Giuffre's name. When everybody knew that the victim was Virginia Giuffre. I shouldn't say everybody that had those files, they redacted that person's name because they wanted you to think it's someone other than Virginia Giuffre. Let me set this up, okay? Let me preface this by saying Democrats for the last, 8 years could have done something with this if Donald Trump had ever flown on the Lolita Express, had ever gone to Epstein Island. Like, I actually think that they would throw overboard all the other losers that flew on the Lolita Express, and those names are numerous, including one Bill Clinton. Actually, there's a funny little clip that I want to show you of someone reminding us Charlemagne the God occasionally gets things right. Clock is right twice a day type of thing. And he wanted to remind everybody that Bill Clinton has a lot of ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Roll that clip. So yeah, just a reminder that if there were any truth to the rumors that Donald Trump had anything to do with this in a substantive way other than him knowing him from Palm Beach and him running in the same circles occasionally, we would have known about it. They would have thrown all those MFers overboard to get Donald Trump. Let's keep it 100, okay? So the idea that all of a sudden these emails are going to come out and somehow like be a gotcha on Donald Trump is stupid. But I am going to read you some of the emails here, and then I'm going to read you what the actual truth is. Now, again, keep in mind, Jeffrey Epstein was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago by Donald Trump. Why? Because he hit on the daughter of a member, and the girl was very young. I think she was like 21 years old, something like that. And he was like, ooh, gross, get out, you're creeping everyone out, stop it. And the plaintiff's lawyer, Bradley Edwards, the plaintiff of a lot of the Epstein victims in Florida, this plaintiff's lawyer, Bradley Edwards, has said numerous times that Donald Trump was the only prominent person that ever lifted a finger to help out with anything. Okay? So no, Donald Trump didn't fly on the plane, not to go to Lolita Express, and he didn't go to Epstein Island. Okay? Stop. Anyway, and I'm going to read to you what the actual witness said too. Okay. So here's what the email was saying. Essentially, this is what the Democrats put out. This was 2011. Jeffrey Epstein emailing someone named G Max. I don't know who that is. I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim, and the name was redacted. Spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. I don't know what that means. I'm 70. Like, these things are wildly out of context. Then he someone named Michael Wolff, who is a rabid anti-Trump lunatic, was writing to Jeffrey Epstein, basically saying, I think you should let him hang himself, meaning Trump. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You could hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. No, that's not what happened. In fact, Trump, the House GOP Oversight Committee was like, here's how dishonest these a-holes are, okay? Because let's go to the actual grand jury testimony of Virginia Giuffre. I mean, this is why they don't want any of that grand jury testimony released. This is why they don't want any depositions released, because the real story comes out in the depositions and in these affidavits. And essentially, this is what the House Oversight Committee put out, because again, it's all in there. Okay, this is the question. When have you met him? Again, this is to Virginia Giuffre, whose name was redacted because the Democrats wanted to make you think that these are other victims and these are other women that Donald Trump is having something to do with. No, it was Virginia Giuffre. And they knew all of this. They knew all of this that I'm getting ready to read was in this transcript. So they knew that, who do you want to believe here? The guy that Donald Trump kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, and who knows that people are trying to make hay with a possible relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, because at the end of the day, they're all Democrats, and Jeffrey Epstein's a Democrat. He's not trying to help out Donald Trump. Or are we going to believe the girl who Jeffrey Epstein made a victim of and who said what she said under oath in a deposition? Come on. All right, here's the question. When have you met him? Answer: at Mar-a-Lago. My dad and him, I wouldn't say they were friends, but my dad knew him and they would talk all the time. Well, not all the time, but when they saw each other. Question: have you ever been in Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's presence with one another? Answer: no. Question: what is the basis for your statement that Donald Trump is a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein's? Answer: Jeffrey told me that Donald Trump is a good friend of his. Again, never saw them in his presence. Answer: he didn't partake in any sex with any of us, but he flirted with me. It's true. This was the question. And she said, no. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me set this up. So the question was, did Trump partake in any sex with any of them, or did he flirt with you? Giuffre said no. It's true that he didn't partake in any sex with us, but it's not true that he flirted with me. Donald Trump never flirted with me. Case effing closed, you a-holes, okay? Case closed. Now, if you really want to get into who was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane and had sex with Jeffrey Epstein's girls, why don't you ask Bill Clinton? Why don't you ask Bill Gates? Why don't you ask Reid Hoffman? Why don't you ask allegedly Chrissy Teigen and John Legend? Like, there's a lot of people that are allegedly on that list of people who went on the plane. And I think what's going on, just like with this Candace Owens thing, which boy howdy, Candace Owens, I lost all respect for her. I have unfollowed her. I'm like, I can't listen to the ramblings of a butthurt person who was mad she didn't get an invite to a funeral. Like, we're all done here. But anyway, that said, so Candace Owens has lost her damn mind, and so have these Democrats if they think that we are going to believe one word that is coming out of their lying mouths. Like, we're not, okay? Like, absolutely we are not. And the only way MAGA gets fractured is if Trump starts going along with these ridiculous ideas like 50-year mortgages and, banning all THC products, and let's give out, a kabillion student visas. Like, whatever, that's a problem. That's a side issue. So much like Candace Owens has lost her damn mind and wants you to believe in conspiracies that don't exist, there's the conspiracy that is also going around that is saying, oh, well, Trump's not doing anything about the Epstein list, or the DOJ's not doing anything. How the hell do you know? How do you know what they're doing? Like, my guess is that they're protecting those victims and they're protecting anybody that is still involved in human sex trafficking, getting them safe, getting them to a place where they can't be hurt if they're going to have to testify, and then they're going to drop the hammer. Have you ever considered that, geniuses? And y'all better be real worried, because it's not Donald Trump that has anything to fear from the Epstein crap. It's y'all, and it's perverts and pedophiles and sickos, whatever industry they're in. Y'all are the ones that should be worried. And on that final note, came out today that Trump found out that JP Morgan Bank was debanked Truth Social a few years back, and he let that be known that they were debanked in like 2019, I believe, or something like that. And or maybe it was after January 6th, but regardless, you know who wasn't debanked? Jeffrey Epstein. And you know who helped pay out like $240 million? JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase. Methinks the elites have a problem and Donald Trump does not. But by all means, continue to flail about. We think it's funny. Okay, we'll be right back. Let me tell you guys about my friends over at Angel Lift. Angel Lift is the lip filler without the filler. And you're like, how can that possibly be? Well, I will tell you how it can possibly be. You're like, that cannot be so. And I'm like, it is so. It's these little plastic silicone things you put inside your mouth. One of these days, I'm going to bring them to tape and put them in the mouth so you can actually see what they look like. But you can see the picture here, what they look like. And they plump out your lips, they plump out lines, and they just make you look much more youthful and less like a smoker of Marlboro Reds for 30 years, okay? Because I am someone who drinks out of a straw and always has. And my lips were looking very, very honky-tonk bar circa 1973, okay? Like lots of lines, looks like I would like covered in smoke. Like that's what my lips looked like. And as you can see my before and after pictures, it's a nice little change. It's not going to be overnight, but it is a natural lift to your lips. And when you use my code Angela Box Show, you're going to get 10% off your entire order. So just go to angellift.com/Angela Box Show and get 10% off your order. And do not chintz. Get the professional grade ones. Trust me on this. You won't regret it. angellift.com/Angela Box Show. All right, next up. Another day, another Antifa attack. Another fiery but mostly peaceful Antifa attack on some Turning Point Action, or excuse me, Turning Point USA people. So this time, it was the end of the This is the Turning Point tour that Turning Point was putting on after Charlie's death. And they were going all over the country in different colleges, and they were having huge rallies for young patriots. In fact, my cousin, my niece Maggie, was at one of them at the University of Oklahoma, and she was like, it was pretty cool. And Russell Brand was there, and it was cool. Anyway, a lot of people. So the other night in Berkeley, the hotbed of crazy of Berkeley, California, you know damn good and well that the school officials there looked the other way, because what happened is that a bunch of kids were there to walk into the auditorium and, you know, talking to each other and just, you know, hanging out and just being normal. And Antifa comes around, calls everyone Nazis and fascists and glad your homie's dead, like, you know, the worst things. And then they basically started a war with Turning Point Action. A violent uprising happened. So scary it was that people started running into the auditorium, and of course people were getting attacked. This one gentleman, and I'm going to show you pictures of this because it's shocking. This one gentleman was attacked by a guy named, I can't say his name, the last name is literally impossible to say, but let's just put it this way. His first for real name was Jihad. Jihad is a crazy Muslim person, and Jihad looks like a jihadist, and it's Jihad versus the Christian guy with the freedom shirt on. And this asshole decided that he'd be cute and starts punching this guy 15 times in the face, and then grabs his cross, just rips it off his neck. I mean, let me step back and miss the lightning, ladies and gentlemen. Like, y'all are doing too much. Okay, we know you're straight out of the pits of hell. Like, we get it. Like, we know that Satan is your homeboy. We got it. But like, you're not doing yourself any favors, you guys. And so let's pause the video. I'm gonna pause the video and show you. I'm gonna show you 3 videos. The first video is going to be of the melee caused by Antifa. Okay, so let's roll that clip.
When I go inside?
Trump fuck skin! Trump fuck skin! Release the Epstein Files fruit! Anytime, any place! Bunch of fascists in the face!
We already know that Trump wants to militarily occupy the Bay Area.
So yes, Turning Point just sitting there minding their own business, and once again Antifa comes to ruin the day. The second clip I'm going to show you is what the media was saying about said melee. Spoiler alert, fiery but mostly peaceful. Roll that clip.
Here in the Bay Area, it comes just 2 months after the killing of Turning Point's founder Charlie Kirk, who was supposed to headline tonight's event. Our Amanda Harry is live on the scene there, where protesters also showed up. We've already actually seen at least one fight break out. Amanda.
Yeah, things have been lively here. While that Turning Point USA event is still happening inside, protesters have been out here for hours. You can see them still here behind me. They have been chanting, just a very, very lively scene out here. While things have been mostly peaceful, there have been some tense moments. Earlier this evening, there was a scuffle that broke out where 2 men started fighting. UC Berkeley police had to break up that interaction. Later, someone was throwing smoke bombs and a car backfired, leading some of the people who were protesting to run away. The protest was put together by students organizing for liberation. Some students say they don't believe UC Berkeley should host a large Turning Point USA event like this one, but other people are happy to be here for the event.
Turning Point USA should not be here, and they are like a fascist organization, and nobody here agrees with what they are saying. And obviously Charlie Kirk has been a big issue with like a lot of college campuses and people on college campuses. So we just think obviously I didn't really follow him a lot, but knowing what he did and knowing the things that he was saying, it's just like vile and disgusting. So we don't want to support his organization, and I don't think that the Berkeley chancellor should have let them come here.
I love being involved in politics, something that's always interested me, very conservative, and Charlie was a great influence on my life, just, how to live as a man and a godly man. So when I heard that they were bringing TPU here, I was like, heck yeah.
CBS Bay Area did confirm that 4 students were arrested earlier today on suspicion of felony vandalism. We do have a lot of police officers still out here watching this event, keeping a close eye on everything that is happening here. We'll have the latest for you at 11.
All right, Amanda Harry live at UC Berkeley. Amanda, thank you. Let's get to some breaking news now.
Okay, and finally, the last clip I'm going to show you is what was going on inside the auditorium after the kids and the people that were there to see Turning Point speakers actually saw what you can see, what was going on inside the auditorium when they actually got in there. Spoiler alert, it doesn't look like a Kamala Harris rally. Roll that clip. So once again, the worst people in the world showed that ass. And for the life of me, I still get into arguments or discussions with leftists who actually will fix their faces to say that Charlie Kirk was a fascist, Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, Charlie Kirk deserved what he got. I'm like, my God, you guys, like, if you don't stop dehumanizing us, this is going to continue. And they don't seem to get that. I don't know if they don't get it or they just don't give a flying F. Like, I don't know. Because I feel like that the left has been so brainwashed into thinking that they're right about everything. And they're so, and I say this all the time, dumb and arrogant, and they are the epitome of dumb and arrogant is a dangerous combination. They're just so full of themselves that they think that they're right. They think they have the moral high ground, even when they go around and beat people up and steal crosses off their necks. They think that they have the moral high ground. Now, the DOJ is not playing with these losers. And Pam Bondi let it be known that the DOJ is going to be opening up a probe into how this happened, because you know damn good and well, just my opinion, that the Berkeley School Administration knew this crap was going to go down and just looked the other way. You know it and I know it, okay? So F around and find out, Berkeley, because nothing would make me happier than to have every single solitary federal dollar that we, the taxpayers, give you just yanked from you. You can figure out how to pay for your gender studies and your absolutely worthless theater degrees, and you won't get any of our money to do that. So have fun. We'll be right back. You guys know that I like to tell you about my friend Becky Blaylock and her husband Kevin Blaylock, who met at art school, and they have a darling little daughter and a beautiful small business called New Frontier Creative. And New Frontier Creative is the joint venture of Becky and Kevin, these two little art school geeks who are just the most talented people you could possibly imagine. Logos, graphics, websites, reels, anything design they can help you with. They can help you with video production. They can do tedious things like uploading your social media content, like anything you need to do if you're a business, a small business, a content creator, they can help you out. And I have a little discount code for you. When you use my name, Angela Box, when you call Becky or you call Kevin and you say, hey, Angela Box sent me over, they're going to give you 15% off your whole order. Like, boom, soup to nuts, 15% off, boom. So bundle everything. Why not do it all at once? Go to newfrontiercreative.com. There's a contact button in there. You can get in touch, email or phone, and just check them out. See what they do. They have lots of samples on their website, and you can also go to my website, Angela Box Show, which Becky completely created, soup to nuts, and see the work that they do. I cannot recommend them highly enough. newfrontiercreative.com. Check them out today. Okay, finally, you guys, I have some delicious Nepo Baby news. This week in Nepo Baby news, let's talk about the one that is like a duh. The biggest duh on duh earth, okay? Nancy Pelosi, that wizened old crone who is so alluring to her absolutely heterosexual husband, who just so happens to have homeless men having drinks with him in his home before they hit him with a hammer. The very buxom Nancy Pelosi, who's like, 8,000 years old, she finally decided she was going to retire from Congress. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And a lot of people were wondering, is her amazing daughter, who just she's this amazing documentary filmmaker, the girl that was told by her mommy that you should probably be here on January 6th to film everything. I mean, I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but, wink, wink, just in case. And it just so happened that all this crazy shit went down. I mean, who could have predicted it? Anyway, her name is, let me make sure I'm getting this right, because I want to give this heifer her due. Her name is Christine Pelosi, and she is unmarried, not surprisingly. A real beauty, this one. Christine Pelosi, there was some talk that she was going to run for a mommy seat, because that would be a real Nepo Baby move. But no, she's not. Because the guy that's going to win Nancy Pelosi's seat is even crazier than Nancy Pelosi. It's a guy named Scott Wiener. He's a current state senator for the Sacramento, San Francisco area, okay? This guy is as gay as the day is long, and he basically sponsored a bill in California to lower the age of consent to like, it wasn't to lower the age of consent. It was like basically to take away penalties for pedophilia if the child was like above 12 or something insane. Like they're saying, oh, it was man boy love. Who are we to say? Anyway, that guy's going to win, and it's going to be wild, y'all. Scott Wiener's got basically a clear path on the runway. They're like, Democrat Party's like, bring them on in. Bring them on in. We need more people who don't know what women are and who are down for the grooming of children and all the things that us Democrats are known for now. Like, bring them in. So he's going to win, and it's going to be a shit show. But Christine Pelosi, beautiful Christine Pelosi, the star documentarian that she is, she's decided that she's going to run for Scott Wiener's seat. And so, like, she's going to be a state senator. And then, like, eventually there's going to be a seat that opens up and that she can run for it because we need her in Congress. Just like Caroline Kennedy thought we needed her in the Senate. Similar vibe. Same level of intellect, I would surmise. But yes, a Nepo baby is going to basically pick the seat that she wants to run for and plop her ass right in it. So way to go, California. You are still stuck with a Pelosi. Okay, but the best Nepo baby. Guys, I'm really excited about this. This is a race that I'm going to be watching like a hawk. In fact, I think I might need, even though it pains me, I might need to go follow Jack Schlossberg on Instagram because he's batshit crazy, you guys. This is a Nepo baby for the ages. Jack Schlossberg, if you don't know who he is, oh, you will soon, okay? He is the son of Caroline Kennedy and the nephew of JFK Jr., and he does, he's an attractive guy. He's got kind of a bigger nose. He's got kind of the Schlossberg nose, if you will, but he definitely resembles JFK Jr. And, he thinks he's really hot shit. Jack Schlossberg is a real winner. Jack Schlossberg has no job. I think they gave him an editorial job at Vogue or something, like a guest column, and he's like, oh, I can't be bothered. I'm very busy. And he drives around New York City in his van. And he does lip sync videos to like Pitbull songs. And, Pitbull, I think, is up there with one of the most garbage musical artists out today. Like one of the literal worst. Roll that clip. A passing resemblance, I would say, personality-wise, in the theatricality of his very essence to one little Edie Bouvier Beale, the cousins to Jacqueline Bouvier and Lee Bouvier Rat as well, the stars of the amazing documentary Grey Gardens, and frankly, the even better mockumentary on Documentary Now that Fred Armisen and Bill Hader did. Y'all, if you've not seen, if you don't know Grey Gardens, you're not going to understand how genius the Documentary Now was that mocks Grey Gardens, but it is next level parody. It's so funny. Anyway, Grey Gardens, very famous documentary, and if you don't know what it's about, it's basically these two Kennedy cousins, or the two Bouvier cousins, that were very eccentric older ladies that lived in this house that was just falling apart, and they were living in like Fantasyland, okay? And it's a very interesting documentary. Anyway, Jack Schlossberg kind of has shades of little Edie. Roll that clip.
She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care.
Honestly, they can get you in East Hampton for wearing red shoes on a Thursday.
Okay, and if you're wondering, Angela, why are you talking about this guy? Like, why? I'll tell you why. because he thinks he's going to be in Congress, you guys. He thinks that he's going to win the Democratic nomination for Congress to take over Jerry Nadler's seat. Jerry Nadler, Mr. Penguin guy, who's finally retiring. And I have a theory. I don't know why all these people are suddenly retiring. I mean, I know Nancy Pelosi's 110 years old, but why Jerry Nadler? And I wonder if maybe there was some, I don't know, some information that was given to them that's basically like, you can either leave on your own accord, or we're going to force you out and it's going to be embarrassing for you. I don't know. Just my opinion. But Josh Schlossberg thinks he's going to be in Congress. And this is the level of intellect that we are going to be contending with. And I'm sure that Jack Schlossberg probably went to an Ivy League school and you didn't. He thinks he's a genius. He thinks he is, JFK and JFK Jr. all rolled into a yummy little ball. And of course he hates his uncle, RFK Jr. And of course he is down for all the things that the far left wants to do. So, I guess in a way, even though I hope he gets his ass handed to him, there's another part of me that's like, flame on, New York City. Like, you just elected a commie jihadist who's going to make everything free, except now he can't. And in fact, he's now like groveling to Trump saying, hey, Mr. President, I'm going to be calling you and we need to have a good working relationship, when he literally said he wasn't going to do anything to lift a finger to help. And in fact, he was going to make ICE come through all of us in New York City. Like, yeah, whatever, Zohran Mamdani. Like, if New York City just elected this clown, why not Jack Kennedy? Jack Kennedy. Why not John Schlossberg? Jack Schlossberg, whatever the hell his name is. Why not Nepo Baby Extraordinaire? I'm kind of into it. What do you think? Are you into Representative Kennedy? This guy is such a joke. He's such an absolute clown. I mean, I'm telling you what, being a Kennedy, man, you get to dine out on that name and do whatever the hell you want. But I will say, it does not have the cachet that it used to once have. And, we could talk about RFK Jr.'s many, many moral failings all day long. But I do like what he's doing over at HHS. And for that reason, I can support that Kennedy. But this clown, no dice. Although, again, it would be really funny. All right, guys, that is it. That's the show. Let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, do all the things. And until next time, everybody, keep kicking ass and taking names. And that will be done. Peace.